A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. The very first one, Nepal votes today in first post-protest election. Elections in Nepal, and based on that a snippet, Nepal votes today in first post-protest election. After protest, the first election, that's what it means. Coming to the next snippet, a bit disturbing, call for action. India ranks second in children with obesity. Number one is China, I suppose. Children with obesity, China is number one. Number two position, the dubious distinction goes to India. Not a good thing. Why do people tend to become obese? There's one expression you have to know, that is sedentary lifestyle. Have you heard of this any time? Sedentary lifestyle means no physical activity. Morning to evening you sit at one place, no physical activity. We use the expression sedentary lifestyle. Eventually that results in obesity. Statue narratives, routines and the politics of symbolism. Attempts to avenge the past, rewrite the future. There's one important word here, avenge. Revenge, avenge. Revenge at a lower level, avenge at a higher level. Take revenge, everyday English, avenge someone's death, higher level. It goes with blood feud. But this is an important word because in English we have reflexive verbs and important examples from the exam point of view. Enjoy, avenge, revenge, pride, and also absent, avail. There's one important rule. If there is no object after a reflexive verb, we should use a reflexive pronoun. They enjoyed a lot last summer. Enjoy is a reflexive verb. The sentence is wrong. What are we supposed to say? They enjoyed themselves a lot last summer. That you have to recollect. Otherwise, nothing. Narratives. Narrative means story. Statue, statute. Two different words. You got to be careful. You all know the word statue. Statue of Liberty in New York City, and statute, S-T-A-T-U-T-E. Statute means a written law, and statutory, something legal. Packing a punch, Black Caps stun the Proteas, enter final. You all know what happened last evening. New Zealand won the match and with a knock, with a punch. 33 balls, who is this guy? Scored a century. Fastest ever in T20 World Cup. Coming to the main headline from today's paper, US sinks Iranian vessel near Sri Lanka. You all know the war is on. USA and Iran. Against that backdrop, US sinks Iranian vessel near Sri Lanka. Simple word, sinks. And ship, boat, vessel, subtle differences. But when it comes to these, you have to think of words like capsize. Capsize means turn upside down. Capsize, turn upside down, turn turtle. All these you have to recollect. And also you have to recollect shipwreck, wreckage, debris, another group important. Otherwise, simple words, nothing to learn as such. Coming to other snippets, protest over SIR continue to rock West Bengal. Rock in the sense disturb West Bengal. This has been going on for some time, rocking West Bengal. What is the issue? SIR has become highly controversial based on that. MVA leaders back Sharad Pawar for Rajya Sabha. Related to politics, back here means support. Study flags poor website blocking practices in India. Flag, one meaning mark, for consideration or consider something important. We have got many a time. Practices, here it is a noun. As a noun, TICE. As a verb, TISC. That you should recollect. Very important. No possibility of merging NCP factions, Patil. Merge, combine, factions, those who oppose. Simple words we have got many a time. That is related to Moscow and Ukraine. It has been going on for some time. Let us have a look at the pic from the front page of the Hindu paper. Symphony of colors. You can see the colors, and it's all about celebrating Holi. Brighter bonds, colored powder and water sprayed over revelers, those who are celebrating during Holi celebrations at the Kalupur Swaminarayan temple in the old city of Ahmedabad on Wednesday. As I said, you can see people, so many people, they thronged. Throng means what? Surrender, one of the meanings. And here, a lot of people at one place. Coming to the other headlines, Nitish may enter Rajya Sabha, make way for new BJP CM from backward class in Bihar. Related to politics, Congress gets 28 seats, one Rajya Sabha berth, as it seals a pact with DMK ahead of Tamil Nadu polls. A pact between two parties. We also use coalition. Once they come to power, two parties together they form the government. What is it called? Coalition government. I'm sure all of you know that. That's all from the front page. Now let us go to today's editorial. Is an important editorial. What is this about? It is about the standoff, Anthropic versus US government, conflict over safety and military use. I'm sure all of you know Anthropic. It has been in the limelight, and because of that, people say 5 years down the line, software industry may not be there. That is a prediction. And in our country, about 60 lakh IT professionals may lose jobs. But all these are general statements. To what extent they're going to come true, that's $1 million question. Here it is all about a rift standoff, a sort of rift or row between, on the one hand, the US administration, on the other hand, Anthropic. The standoff, Anthropic versus US government. And what is this conflict? Conflict over AI safety and military use. Conflict over what? AI safety and military use. To provide the background information, Anthropic, the stand for principles. The US government asked for something, Anthropic refused. And based on that, here you can see the stand for principles. Privacy, automated drone, manned drone, I suppose. Anthropic refuses demands for surveillance and fully autonomous weaponry. Uphold safety control for war. Designated supply chain risk by US DoD. Because Anthropic refused, the US government did not like it. It has labeled supply chain risk. And here code writing assistant Claude used for benign purposes. Benign means good, something very good. What is opposite? Malign, something bad. And coming to this side, you have US government demands widespread domestic surveillance, Anthropic refused, seeks use for advanced military tech, fully autonomous weapons, Anthropic refused. Based on that refusal, labels Anthropic's agenda woke and radical and says there is a supply chain risk. Prior concessions for some cloud use were made. In the past they gave access, now they have refused. Coming to US government, what is the stand? Test the push for maximum flexibility. Open AI's move and the impact on safety. Anthropic refused, but Open AI, another firm, has accepted. That is another problem. Based on that, OpenAI's move and impact on safety. Other firms' lack of solidarity. Solidarity means unity. When Anthropic refused, other firms also should have refused. But on the contrary, some other firm has joined hands, has accepted. OpenAI provides flexibility, agrees to US DoD request soon after Anthropic's refusal, offers assurances of safeguards. Based on that, AI safety harmed. In the past, there was a summit, it talks about, editorial refers to that, and global consequences and a dangerous precedent. Based on this agreement, or the other firm has come forward, what are the consequences, positive or negative? And it's a dangerous precedent. One company says no, another company says yes, not a good precedent. Firms taking a stand, a shift in leadership on safety. In erosion of strong institutions, when a firm with billions at stake says no, another firm says yes, that is something not good. Another firm steps in. Present and future abandoning global harmony. Chilling message is what? Great powers can ignore safeguards for strategic upper hand. Other superpowers and middle powers watching closely. Inspiration for other authoritarian regimes to infiltrate opposition. That's all about this one. Now let us go to editorial vocabulary. Today it is going to be a different presentation. Based on the concepts, the different words. Let us start with the words, this editorial, packed with intense, high stakes vocabulary. To make it easier to digest, these have been broken down by their part of speech and how they function within the context of the AI industry and geopolitics. Vocabulary is going to be presented within the context of AI industry. Let us see the first dimension here. The bullied and the outcasts. Do you guys know the meaning of the word bullying? If you go to schools, usually there's a big guy, there's a small guy. The big guy tries to trouble the small guy. That is known as bullying. First word here, bullying, it can be a verb, it can be a noun. In this context, it refers to using superior power or influence to intimidate someone. The US government intimidating someone means Anthropic into doing what one wants. Intimidate, what is the meaning of intimidate? To frighten. Intimidation, different factors are there. One is power, another money or wealth, third one knowledge. With all these we can intimidate others. Unceremoniously cast out. There's another expression you guys have to know. Unceremonious exit. Some people work for an organization for many years. At the time of leaving, their services should be recognized. But if they are told to leave the organization just like that, then we use the expression unceremonious exit. Have you heard of this any time? Phrasal verb, adverbial phrase, to be dismissed or rejected rudely and abruptly, without any formal process or respect. When there is no respect, we use unceremonious exit. Hostile, we have got many a time. You have to think of words like enmity and also antagonistic. Hostile, hostility, never heard of that. Once you take up the job, you work for an organization, you will come to know. Enmity, we pronounce enmity, but what is the spelling? E-N-M-I-T-Y. You got to be careful with spelling. And antagonistic, hostile, they all mean the same. Showing open resistance or opposition, behaving like an enemy. When you see the word enemy, you have to think of friends and foes, F-O-E. Foe means what? Enemy. I'm sure we have got many a time. Foes means enemies. persona non grata. This is also an important expression. Generally, I give students non-entity. He is a non-entity, means no recognition, no value. Non-entity, important expression beyond any doubt, but this is better. Persona non grata, noun phrase, a Latin term meaning an unwelcome person. In diplomacy, it refers to a person forbidden from entering or remaining in a particular country. Slightly different meaning. Forbid means to prevent, to prohibit. A person forbidden from entering or remaining in a particular country. Then we use this expression. You have to remember, important one. Now the conflict and the pressure. Based on the conflict and the pressure, a few words. What is the first word here? Relent. We have got the word relentless many a time. And what is the combination I give? Relentless efforts. While preparing for competitive exams, you should put in relentless efforts. Means what? Till you get success, you should not stop your efforts. Here, relent, part of speech verb, to finally agree to something after refusing it for a long time. In a way, given to pressure. What is the other word or other important word for given? Yield. Surrender. Given is a phrasal verb. Surrender, yield. Words. Yield has a positive connotation, it has a negative connotation. Yield, one meaning goes with agriculture, crops. You all know that positive connotation, but here yield, negative one. Winners never quit, quitters never win. Very good. Coming to the next one, high octane adjective, literally refers to high energy fuel, but figuratively means powerful, intense, or highly dynamic. High octane conflict means takes a very high, intense conflict, we can say high octane conflict. Important expression you have to remember. Woke and radical agenda, noun phrase. Woke means a political term often used pejoratively here for being alert to social injustice. Radical means something different, entirely different. We say radical approach. Advocating, promoting for thorough or complete political or social change. Grinding on. Grind, ground as a verb, and ground as a noun, you all know, cricket ground. That's a different meaning altogether. Grinding on, phrasal verb, describing a situation like a war or conflict that is continuing in a varying, slow and relentless way. Something goes on and on, then we use the expression grinding on, a phrasal verb. Chilling we have got many a time. Now what is the concept here? The chilling consequences. Chilling, part of speech adjective, creating a feeling of fear or dread, specifically a chilling effect. Chill has many meanings. One meaning, very cold, winter season, we use the word chill. Very cold, chilled drink, another meaning. Just chill means what? Relax. Different meanings. A chilling effect is when people are discouraged from exercising their rights for fear of legal or government retaliation. Outrageous, shockingly bad, an important word. Outrageous behavior means what? Shockingly bad, excessive or bold in a way that breaks standards of decency. Something not decent, indecent, not acceptable, done deliberately or intentionally. We use outrageous behavior. Full-throated, we have got for the first time, part of speech adjective, expressed with the utmost intensity or directness, loud, unambiguous support. A loud support, unambiguous support. Ambiguous means vague, not clear. Infiltration, we have got many a time. The process of secretly entering or gaining access to an organization or system or a country to acquire secret information. Infiltration happens across the borders usually. Norm we have got many a time, something that is usual, typical or standard. Safety and principles related, a few words. This talks about a summit, Bletchley Park AI Safety Summit, proper noun. You have to know this. When you write about AI, based on the context, obviously, you should use this information. A real world historic meeting 2023, where global leaders and AI firms met to discuss the frontier risks of AI. It symbolizes international cooperation. Imperative, part of speech noun, a factor or strategy that is of vital importance or an absolute necessity. Something is imperative means what? Something is essential and it's a necessity, absolute necessity. Resonance, it goes with sound, one meaning, but in this context, part of speech noun, the ability to evoke images, memories, or emotions. In this context, it asks if the message of safety still has any power or meaning. Does it resonate? Means what? Is it still applicable? Does it make sense? That's what it means. Disavows, part of speech verb, to deny any responsibility or support for something. Publicly disown an idea. You don't own a particular idea, you disown some idea, then you have to use this word. Same concept, we have some more words. Safety principles based, backbone. You all know the word backbone, but here it has a different connotation. Figuratively, the strength of character, the courage to stand up for one's principles under pressure. Solidarity means unity, part of speech noun, unity or agreement of feeling or action, especially among individuals with a common interest. If there is unity, we say there is solidarity, important word. Peer, I've given many a time, peer pressure. A person or company of the same age, status or ability as another. OpenAI is a peer of Anthropic. Two firms, same more or less functions. What is the word we use? They are peers. Wear down, phrasal verb, to weaken someone or something over time through persistent pressure or attack. Persistent means continuous. Through continuous pressure, you weaken someone. Then we use wear down someone. Yes, you should recollect principle. That's all about the words from today's editorial. Let us go to. Today's editorial is about the refusal of Anthropic to the US government. It has refused something to the US government, and an important editorial. Bullying Anthropic means troubling Anthropic, harassing Anthropic. You can think of all these words. Teasing, troubling, harassing, and what is the word? Bullying Anthropic. Who is bullying Anthropic? The US's demands for maximum flexibility on AI use are dangerous. Now you should understand. The US government has demanded something from the Anthropic. Demanded what? For maximum flexibility on AI use are dangerous. And the Anthropic has refused. That's why they had to write this editorial. Over the last few days, the US Department of Defense unceremoniously cast out, means sent out, labeled the AI firm Anthropic, which develops the coding assistant Claude and designated the firm a supply chain risk. The tussle, the bone of contention or the dispute between two parties. What are the two parties here? One, the US Defense, the other Anthropic. And the third party, AI. Coming to OpenAI, coming to this one first sentence, because the Anthropic has refused as a reaction, the US Defense has labeled Anthropic, and what exactly does it say? Over the last few days, the US Department of Defense unceremoniously cast out the AI firm Anthropic, which develops the coding assistant Claude and designated the firm, means they gave a name to the firm, a supply chain risk. The kind of cattle branding reserved for firms that are compromised by hostile foreign states. Cattle branding also an important thing. Many of us we don't know, but they brand cattle. It is like cattle branding according to the writer. Supply chain risk, it is equivalent to the kind of cattle branding reserved for firms that are compromised by hostile foreign states. Compromised here means they gave up the values because of hostile foreign states. The reason was simple. Why did the US defense, why did it label Anthropic? What is the reason behind using all these words? The reason was simple. Anthropic refused to relent on allowing its tools to be used for widespread domestic surveillance and fully autonomous weaponry. There are two dimensions here. Anthropic refused what? One is to relent on allowing its tools to be used. It said no for the tools to be used for what purpose? Widespread domestic surveillance, first point. It also refused another dimension, fully autonomous weaponry. Both the things it has refused. So the US government is not happy. The high-octane conflict means intense conflict between the US government and the Anthropic. The high-octane conflict with the US government, which accused Anthropic of following a woke and radical agenda, is a shocking escalation. Because it was unhappy, it has labeled woke and radical agenda. Is a shocking escalation. Escalation means what? Going up. The conflict has gone up, a shocking escalation. Despite prior concessions that would allow the US's defense establishments use of CLOD, which helps create and update code bases quickly. In the past, they had access to Anthropic, to CLOD. Prior concessions. Prior is an important word. Why is it an important word? Compared to adjectives like, wonderful, congratulations, who is this? Oh, he has, I don't know, he or she deleted the message. Who is this? Viresh, why did you delete that? I was about to congratulate you. Anyhow, shocking escalation despite prior. Compared to adjectives like superior, inferior, senior, junior, elder, prior, preferable, and the verb prefer, they take the preposition to, that you have to recollect. Prior concession that would allow the US's defense establishments use of CLOD, which helps create and update code bases quickly. Initially they allowed for certain things, later they refused. The conflict also sends a chilling message. Chilling message means something that causes fear. What is a chilling message? A great power can do anything with or without safeguards to attain a strategic upper hand. Someone has power obviously can do something. That is sheer common sense. What is the chilling message here? A great power can do anything with or without safeguards to attain a strategic upper hand. This is a dangerous message to send in a multipolar world where shared standards around safety are increasingly difficult to achieve. This is not a good message, it's a dangerous message. If you look around the present world order, it is not a good thing because today it's a multipolar world where shared standards around safety, they are important but increasingly difficult to achieve. Coming to the second part of the editorial, it talks about a particular summit. This is no longer the world of the Bletchley Park AI Safety Summit. And that summit talked about cooperation among the nations. It was a gathering that acknowledged the rapidly growing power of AI systems and the shared global imperative to ensure that high stakes risks be mitigated. In that summit, they agreed two things. One, cooperation is required among the nations, and also the other dimension, any risk, here high stakes risks Be mitigated. Mitigate means what? To reduce, alleviate, mitigate, assuage. All these words are important. What resonance does that worthy message have when the country on the frontier of AI development so publicly disavows any form of safety control for war at a time when a reckless attack on Iran with reportedly some assistance from Claude is grinding on? It's a question. What resonance means what relevance? Is it still applicable? What resonance does that worthy message have when looking at the present situation, when the country on the frontier of AI development so publicly, US is on the frontier of AI development. If you take the first world, developed countries, they are far better when it comes to AI. But among the first world countries, among the developed countries, the US is 6 years ahead of other first world countries when it comes to AI. Based on that, this expression, when the country on the frontier of AI development so publicly disavows, disowns any form of safety control for war, at a time when a reckless attack on Iran, with reportedly some assistance from Claude, their Anthropic must have helped, is grinding on, still going on. Firms need to show some backbone when dealing with outrageous demands. Show some backbone means show some courage. Be with principles or values. Firms need to show some backbone when dealing with outrageous demands. Unreasonable, you can say, shocking demands, you can say, that could have chilling consequences in their home country and around the world. If someone demands outrageous demands, you should have the courage, have the backbone to say no, a firm no, because of the consequences and ramifications. After all, if the US demands a policy space for domestic surveillance in such a full-throated fashion, where does that leave countries where infiltrating the political opposition with spyware on their phones is already the norm? Domestic surveillance, Anthropic said no. Another firm has come into picture, it has said yes. And the sentence talks about if something like this is demanded, in some countries already there's some sort of infiltration when it comes to opposition. Countries where infiltrating political opposition with spyware on their phones is already the norm. Something like that is already the norm, means it is in usage, that's what it means. Anthropic showed this backbone. Now the writer praises Anthropic. Anthropic said no, domestic surveillance and automated weaponry. Anthropic showed this backbone and it deserved the solidarity of its peers. Other companies also should have supported Anthropic. But on the contrary, sadly, that is not what happened. As ChatGPT maker OpenAI appeared to give the US Defense Department the flexibility it sought just hours after Anthropic became persona non grata. Anthropic said no, within no time, this OpenAI, ChatGPT OpenAI said yes. Sadly, despite OpenAI's assurances that its agreement provides key safeguards, AI safety has been harmed, with the other superpower and a host of middle powers around the world watching closely. Already damage has been done. AI safety has been harmed, means damage has been done, according to the editorial. How does it end? Firms may not be the ideal characters to take a stand, taking into consideration, after all, their profit motivations. There is a conflict between profit motivations and also values or ethics. Based on that, firms may not be the ideal characters to take a stand. Why? If you consider, taking into consideration, after all, their profit motivations. But as strong institutions are worn down around the world, means they are repeatedly forced, worn down, wear down, worn down. But as strong institutions are worn down around the world, there are few places to look to for leadership on safety. Hardly any place to look for leadership on safety. In a way, Anthropic has provided that. How does the editorial end? When a firm with billions of dollars at stake says no, it is not a promising sign of things to come. When another steps in to say maybe yes, it ends on that note, indirectly telling Anthropic said no with billions of dollars at stake. In spite of that said no, then ChatGPT OpenAI has stepped in saying yes. That's not a good sign. It is not a promising sign of things to come. When another steps in to say maybe yes, it ends on that note. An important editorial. Do read once or twice to understand the context, and some important words are here. And we will provide the PDF after the session. Try to have access to the PDF and spend time on important expressions. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.